Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. Scott, thank you very much for the invite. I highly appreciate it. So I'm Martijn. I'm the CEO and CEO and founder of Anlytic. I created Anlytic a couple of years ago when I started working at the National Police. So I incubated at the National Police and it's kind of growing out to be full blown platform. We are quite in the launching stage now. Next couple of weeks we also like launch on Product Hunt, launch on AppSumo. So it's nice to be here. I think it's a very nice timing. Um, in this talk, I kind of want to go over the process, how I started at National Police, and also how and the problems we solved at the Dutch government. Let's get into it. So I started at the National Police in 2021, initially as a freelancer, just to build a couple of dashboards. I have an econometric background, was still studying back at that time. So they built already a couple of dashboards for the Minister of Defense, head of the police, kind of like the top management of the government, to combine in a single data environment Central Bureau of Statistics demographics, so demographical information, national police data about current crime rates, and then prosecution data from the Ministry of Justice. So they set up a whole new environment for this. I came in there, they were already building it for a couple of years. Large team, 20 people were working on it. I came in there just to like do the technical side of things, and I was a little bit shocked how much people were working on this. Like initially 20 dashboards, only for the top of government. So like somewhere in May, I went to the director of innovation. I said, "Hey, fund me a team. Let me build it by myself. I will launch this over the whole country." So now, around 1.5, 2 years later, we are launching around 19 projects, 15 locations of the Dutch police. Central Bureau of Statistics are interested. We're trying to hit around 1,000 users next year. So we actually made it to scale this way. So like, this is basically the story I got when I started working at the National Police. So I came in there and said, how does it work with the data? So I was doing the whole architectural side of the data. And they basically said, okay, a minister asks a question that then gets delegated down to make a data manager to an analyst. The analyst needs to request information for different government agencies because there is no central location for the information. That then most of the times gets combined in Excel. And then in Excel, charts are made, goes into Word, goes into a PDF, and that gets sent back up to the chip. So you can imagine it like small scale the problems of this. Now I think 150 analysts, 40 reports per week. Yeah, that blows up a little bit. So I started analyzing okay, how does the flow normally go? We have an analytical question, and then the data analyst starts working, the data collection happens, asset building, dashboard building, and report building. Where can we do like a massive improvement? First of all, like we can replace the data collection with a data team that standardizes everything. So get data contracts going for the different agencies. And we could remove the whole asset building. Like I started searching and experimenting with ClickHouse to basically just do everything raw. Like build and like optimize query engine that can actually just make optimized queries and do everything raw. And started experimenting also with like petitioning and like key orders and like some, maybe you guys know like the order of the different ordering keys in your ClickHouse tables. Like very important. If you like you go from low to high cardinality, you can 10x your ClickHouse setup. So I started very much experimenting with this. Then I basically came to the conclusion and the project that I got from okay, let's centralize everything. Let's create a central environment, get all the data to a single location, get data contracts going, map everything to effect animation models, and then scale and automate, and then basically try to pull in all the communication that is happening around the data into the tool. So next to building dashboards, we kind of want to completely take the whole data flow where we also can build documents, live documents with full charts in there so that we can stop the disconnection of a PDF file with the data. I'm getting a report. what's happening now, unlock the chart, boom, and you have it live. But what was actually the prediction that was made, and what's happening now, and what was actually the result. You can go back in time, and you can actually see the results, what you were predicting back then. So to do this, we came up with a simplified model to start building this. So we have a very strong base. We needed multi-tier governance, multi-tier authorization, because we have like a lot of management layers in here, and we want to scale this to every management layer from like the manager of like a small police department to complete national wide like advisors of the ministers. So a very strong base layer. Then we say, okay, we are moving a little bit away from a modern BI system, but more like a data exposure system. So we need to build a data catalog in the system, move all the communication to here, remove all the email communication, and then make it so easy that everybody that uses Excel can use it. So that was a little bit the road that we went on. So we end up with a BI for centralized data. And the role of a BI system changes in that moment a little bit. Way more some kind of like Notion setup. Like this is like very much like Notion, where you way more create a collaboration space where people can work in together. And we have a lot of, you can build your own catalog, you can like really like manage a lot of data, a lot of different data sources. You can add metadata, so you directly also have the possibility to explain data. So this basically where ClickHouse came into play. We were building some Postgres, and I remember there was at some point the query had like a little bit more than 100 million rows in the fact table. 5 dimensions needed to join with 10 people at the same time live. 90 seconds were my Postgres queries. Then after the optimization, we went to around 30 milliseconds or something with ClickHouse. Like ridiculously quick. So and directly here goes also in like we need to scale this through a lot of users. The possibility at the moment, because like the data is falls in the public data because it's the management side of the police. We're using ClickHouse Cloud, but there's a big chance that we move this internally. So ClickHouse absolutely perfect for this. And because we really wanted to do it live and we have like an extremely flexible filter set, we basically have no use of caching. So we have some caching in here, but like 98% or something of our queries go past the caching layer directly. All right, so when we start doing this, there are a couple of challenges what we are facing. And one of the problems that we directly see, like the normalization of dimensions, if we scale this, is becoming quite a big problem. So like one pure example of this, if you ask the CBS and the National Police about what are the borders of a city, they are different. So they draw, exactly, right? So they draw the lines with the coordinates differently. So exactly, because it's always was data siloed, right? So there was never a connection. So there was nobody owning the drawing of those lines. So we see like a normalization issue in the dimensions. Some you can map, some you cannot. And if we centralize this completely and enforce centralization, experimentation on like a department level completely blocks. So what we allowed to happen, you can connect different sources. So if you are using ClickHouse, you can directly connect it. But you can also connect your Postgres. So we allow on a central location to have ClickHouse instance, and on each of the separate departments can experiment either with their own database or Postgres. You have like managed Postgres databases that you can spin up with a click. So you have basically the idea to still allow for experimentation on the lower level, but have like a central data location. And of course, very, very interesting, because to make this happen and to have it nicely function with the generic data, we built some very cool things. So the first thing is I wanted to allow disconnected tables in a single visualization. So if you create multiple bars, each of these bars, our query engine can detect if they are in different databases. So you can have a single line from a Postgres database, another line from a ClickHouse database, basically completely disconnected, but still in the same visualization. And this also is the same when you have database without relationship, in the tables without relationships that are like disconnected, but I want to show the same amount in a single location. So that was like the first one. And then became even more fun. So to allow the normalization, to tackle the normalization, we had a lot of like disconnected dimensions that were happening. The disconnected dimensions then made it almost impossible to allow workspace filters or dashboard filters to function over all the different, over all the different data models. Now, to reverse this, what we did is instead of creating and having the column having a filter on the column, we created a filter and then added columns to the filter. So the mapping of labels is relatively easy because if you go back to the example, Amsterdam is Amsterdam in the police and Amsterdam in the CDS data. The lines might be different, but the mapping of the labels is relatively easy. So what we can do is we can connect a single filter to two different dimensions labels and then still do the complete filtering on this. Now we can set up relationships. For ClickHouse, we need to set up the relationship manually. We're managing the relationships ourselves in the app. And it also allows to detect joins through those relationships. So we can actually have like separate stars with disconnected dimensions completely automatically working on the same filters. And the combination with disconnected tables and with reversing the logic for the filters that way basically makes it possible to have like completely unrelated data in the same dashboard, basically reacting as if it was completely modeled in a proper star schema. So yeah, we are basically now on the launch. We just launched on waitlist online, so check out anlytic.com and you can register there. So yeah, we are also going into the AI sphere, of course. I have I want to go a little bit more under the hood. It's very interesting to see because the AI, the way that it can react on the metadata that you're already giving, because we had this whole catalog building system, we actually, without us knowing, and without knowing when we were building it, we're actually giving the AI like ridiculous amount of context. So because we have the whole metadata catalog system already there, we can literally ask him questions and it can automatically detect and drill down in our data sets. I wanted to go a little bit technical in this and check out from, okay, how did we build this? Because basically the main problem that we are having here, because we have so much context, is the amount of tokens that we're using. So what we are trying to do is to reduce the tokens by creating more an agent prompt behavior. So you're chatting with the main agent prompt. As soon as the agent prompt detects intent for the creation of a new chart, it will internally spin up a new prompt and request more information over there. Then in that new prompt, we can do all the tool registration. So we have about 10, 15 charts that you can make. All of these charts have like a massive JSON schema underneath this. So the input schema for all the tool registration at that moment goes to 10,000 tokens or something. Now, scale it up a little bit, you go to serious digits. So to reduce this, it's choosing intent and also for the interpretation of the data. And it's sending the data to cloud. Everything is built on cloud. But we don't want this in the mainstream of our chat, right? If you have all the data or the whole JSON output, so it's summarizing the interpretation and then injecting this as context in the history, so allowing us to reduce our token count dramatically. Right, so we are getting managed databases. We're starting with Postgres. This is now, I'm very much hope to talk to Pascal to get us to the ClickHouse Cloud instances. Over 700 connectors, the collaboration with Fivetran. We're getting all their connectors in the app. I want to completely create an independent database explorer view, so that you don't have to leave the app, say with file uploads and the whole shebang around. So where do we want to go? So this is something I don't really see talking too much about in the BI space, but actually since the AI agent behavior is coming out, there's finally an interface where we can connect the structured data to the structured world. So I really am looking forward to go more in this. And this is already on the timeline to actually launch the police. We are like looking into deploying our own llama over there to start doing this stuff. And then in the end, full blown agentic behavior and switching to, okay, let me ask a question for an optimization. And then, yeah, it's basically will completely search, drill down in the data and try to figure out. Hopefully the end result would be even to allow him to do actions, right? Send the emails to optimize specific things. And I have also, I went a little bit quick so that I can show you guys a little bit some demo. You guys open. Oh, who doesn't have this? Who doesn't have this? Bruce all the screens of the distressing, right? Yeah. It's way worse if it was in a different desktop. So we also have 50 screens going on. All right, so I have a little demo database over here, the little demo dashboard over here. So we can already go quite deep. We have DeckGL support, so you can plot actually through ClickHouse your spatial data. So also your polygons, multi-polygons, all line data. So you can completely just really plot this. We have, you can, let's go on. Basic. Demo day. Oh, I'm not on the Wi-Fi. Classic. Yeah. Alright, so we have a drag and drop dashboard builder. You can also switch between charts over here. So yeah, this is basically a full blown drag and drop system. Here, there's some nice things over here. For the different data, you can also change functions. So you can change your data in this sense. The columns are just normal columns, and data will be the aggregated rows. So you group it by those amounts. You can also add different functions on this. So if you start using the app desktop wall getting started section, it will automatically pop up where you can go over with some explanation. You can go to all the different types of charts that you can make in this setup. Tables, take bar charts. I wanted to go a little bit to the data side of things over here. It's dark, okay, so I switch it to light for a second. A little bit better. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, so if you go to sources here, yeah, you can directly just connect your ClickHouse setup. Directly connect, you will have a Postgres from this demo environment. But you can directly go into your data over here. So here you can see you can add metadata for both name, and then that will also show up. Also, you can basically start creating like a nice catalog. We have support for calculated columns and metrics. So calculated column is a series calculation, and a metrics is aggregating to a single digit. Now we also have some cool things over here. So I think we are basically the only one in the space that is doing this. But I wanted to automatically join different tables around our metrics to make them a little bit more complex. So you can set up a base table, and then you can join you can join your tables around that will automatically manage this. You build catalogs. So you can already set up catalogs. And a nice one over here is you can also build your relationships here in in here on top of your ClickHouse database. So because there are no relationships, you can actually give him your join information to automatically fix all the filters. So yeah, that is it. So sign up now for the waitlist. Thank you very much for your time.